Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. So I'm going to make this video on the heels of a video I've just done, which was titled How to Debank Your Life, or actually I haven't got around to titling it just yet. But the goal of the video is to give a blueprint on how people can essentially debank, providing you a way of making your money in crypto and spending your money in crypto. And one of those ways of spending your money in crypto is actually turning your crypto into cash. And I want to dedicate this particular video on this particular cash to crypto trade. Now, for those that are really into crypto, the only thing that we like in fiat is cash. I think most people who are in crypto much prefer physical cash compared to digital payments, because there's a decentralized and anonymous nature about cash payments that you just don't get when it comes to using banks, because banks, unfortunately, and other financial institutions have created a monopoly on all financial transactions in which all of your payments, they're de-anonymized, so the banks and whoever else, they know exactly what you've purchased. And there's always also a fee on all of these transactions as well. And this is just, and it's also, the money is in the bank. So it's not really, it's like we say in Bitcoin, not your keys, not your crypto. If your funds are in the bank, then you don't really own the funds in your bank. It's custodial. And for those that are familiar with the fractional reserve banking system, banks are only required to have 10% of their total deposits in cash available. So if ever there's a bank run, you've got to understand you can lose all of your money because the banks aren't required to actually have your money on hand, which is crazy. Cash, or like physical cash, even though it's limited, it is still fiat. It's got a lot of it's still subject to the problems of fiat currency. It gets devalued. At least it's still physically in your hand. No one can take it away from you. At least you're self-custodying it. So cash is good. So for me, the most ideal combination in the current modern world that we live in is to have a physical cash to crypto on-ramp where you can buy and sell crypto for cash and vice versa. Now, how can we do that? Well, if you go to a normal centralized exchange like Binance or Bybit, if you want to turn your funds, like your fiat, into crypto, you only really have one option. That's a bank transfer. So you can't really do that much else with your cash. It's a very hard thing to do, but I'm going to show you some ways. So I've got already up here local CoinSwap. This is a very popular peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchange. It's non-custodial and doesn't require any KYC. And what is cool about this place is you can do cash trades, and not just like one kind of cash trade, like in person. You've got a number of different cash trades, and I'm going to go through all of them. So the first one that's most intuitive to you is, okay, first I'm just going to go buy, just to make it easier. Go from a buyer's perspective. And we're going to do cash in person. So what that means is you're going to meet up with someone at a physical location and trade Bitcoin or crypto or whatever with the other person. And I'm going to give you a few hints about how to manage this interaction with the person. So if you go through here, you'll see all the different places in which this is happening. So you've got one in Manchester, Miami, Bangkok, Thailand, Birmingham, and more in Thailand. You've got Australia, Japan. Now, when you're looking for someone to trade with, it's very simple. Just look for the people with the most feedback. So this person here, trading in Manchester. From what I understand, Manchester is not a safe place. I personally wouldn't do it in Manchester. But let's just say you are in Manchester and you do want to go through with it. You would want to go with the person with the most amount of trades. So this guy has 10,000 trades. To get to 10,000 trades, it takes a lot of years and a lot of trust. Like, you've built up a lot of trust on the platform. And for someone to do this, they're doing it as a full-time job. So this guy is making bread from this kind of activity. The chances are that you go meet up with him and actually he pulls a switcheroo on you and shanks you and takes your money. It's not really likely. Even if he was greedy and evil, it's just simply not worth losing like an account with 10,000 feedback, right? And he's making 9% above market rate. So I'm sure he's happy doing this kind of business and not another kind of business that involves like shanking you and taking your money. So you've got that. But personally, I like to, if I had an option, I would prefer to be in places that are safe. So this guy Mint here, like he has done 132,000 trades purely by cash just in Bangkok. So I imagine there's just people going in and out of his house all the time. He sends his address, you rock up to his house, you knock on the door, you do the cash trade at the front door, and he just does that day after day after day. So that's what you call like a very safe trader. And look at that, he's only doing 2% above market rate, like 1% goes to the platform. So he's doing this at such a degree of frequency that he's only making like 1%, and he's quite happy with that. So there's that. So you've got your cash in-person trades. Now, I want to briefly mention this as well, because this is important. You might be looking, and this is very important, at this 9% above market rate, 7% above market rate. You're paying an amount above market rate. So this one here, this is USDT. It's very easy to visualize. You have to pay $1.07 to get 1 USDT from this person selling in Miami. And that is quite expensive. So the way to go around this is to create your own offer. If you become a merchant, then you can get a much better deal. So you would pretty much just go create an offer to buy crypto for cash in whatever area you are. And you're going to have to be patient, right? But if you're patient, eventually you'll get a buyer who just wants to, he doesn't want to make an offer himself. So he's just going to go with the offers that are available. And if he goes with your offer, then you've got better like leverage in this equation. Like you can charge a better rate. So the average here, like depending on where you are, I mean, who knows, maybe it's 5%. So maybe you can charge him, maybe you can get away with like selling at 2% below market rate, right? In order to deal with, in order to get a buyer, right? So that's one option you can go with. But as I've said, you know, like you want to be thinking about security. I've never had a problem with a cash trader ever, but I also don't live in S-hole, crap-hole countries. So I wouldn't be doing this in the UK. No way, no how. But if I was living in the UK, a really safe option you can do is cash by mail. And this is actually the preferred option for people that do cash trades. Cash trades has a very vibrant ecosystem of traders, and most people much prefer to do cash by mail because it's safe and you don't have to meet up in like some location. So that saves traveling on both of your halves. And yeah, as far as I know, like you don't really have to worry about someone like taking your money. I have seen in some trades where people will say, don't send the funds, like the money, in an envelope, because anyone that is handling this mail could feel that there's cash inside and they might, you know, do something with that money. So some people actually recommend sending in a box. If you've got a small box, like, or even a small plastic container, it'd be better if you sent it in that than in just a thin mail envelope. That way you can kind of disguise the contents inside. So yeah, here we go. We've got cash by mail here. The rates do look pretty high, but like if you sort by price, you should be able to get a better deal. So we're gonna, here we go, sort by price. And there's also a lot more options for countries. So with the cash in-person offers, there's only a few sellers, dedicated sellers in various countries, right? But with cash by mail, there's a lot more options, a lot more people in different countries doing this kind of dealing. And on top of that, you can also do international, right? So if you're in some random country out in who knows where, let's just say you're in Guinea-Bissau, you happen to have US dollars, you could do an international FedEx and send it to this person here in Canada, and this guy is charging 5% above market rate. But if you're willing to go with some lower rated sellers, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Like this guy here, he's got 181 trades. Like I don't think that's that's a small amount of trades. Like that's a solid amount of trades to have. And this guy is only doing 2% above market rate. And as I mentioned, the platform charges sellers 1% per trade. So this guy is, you know, not really charging much money. This guy here is doing 1% above market rate. So he's not even making money doing this, right? But there is a high amount that he's wanting. He's wanting to do 10,000 to 5 million, yeah, by cash. I wouldn't be doing that with someone with only 67 trades. It's not even a small amount of trades. It's done like $9,000 worth of trades, but it'd be better if you didn't. So, you know, I sort of by price. You can see here we've got like much more reasonable rates. And as I mentioned, if you were to become a merchant yourself, make an offer, then you could hopefully get a much better rate. So, I mean, the average here is like 5%. So yeah, you could do like 2% or something like that. So yeah, there's one more option as well. and that's called cardless cash. Now, we've got this in Australia, but you can do this in other countries as well, depending on what bank someone is using. So there's cardless cash and cash deposit. So what that means is, so you've got your cash and you open up a trade with someone for, we'll just say cash deposit for now. You open up a trade with someone, and what happens is that they will then send you their bank details, and then all you need to do is go to an ATM or to a branch, and you just put your cash into the ATM machine and just type in their account details, and then those funds will be deposited to that seller's account. And then when you receive those funds, your funds in the escrow will be unlocked, and you'll get your crypto. So this is another great way of doing it. Cardless cash is a very similar method as well, where I think you could do this. A lot of countries have this. So again, it's the same thing. You open up a trade with this person, the funds get locked in escrow, they'll then give you payment details, then you take your cash to the ATM, put it in, boom, it's done, they receive their funds, and then you've been able to turn your cash into crypto. And all the things that I've talked about just now, you can apply it in the reverse. If you want to sell your crypto for cash, you do the exact same thing, but in reverse order. Except what I will mention is that if you're the seller of crypto into cash, you can actually make money doing it, because there are far more people that are trying to buy with cash for crypto, buy crypto with cash, than sell crypto for cash. So if you're one of those people that are actually selling crypto for cash, you can make money doing it. You can make as little as 3%, it could be 5%, it could be 10% if there aren't that many sellers in your area. Now, there's another thing that I want to recommend people as well, because there might be some of you that are like, you know what, this stuff is complicated, I don't want to have to deal with it. There's another method that you can use that is very simple, and you can go to meetup.com and just type in Bitcoin, or it can be crypto, or it can be DeFi or Ethereum, whatever, and just look at the meetup groups in your city. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go casually to these events and just mention to people that you're buying crypto with cash or you're selling crypto with cash. And there's a lot of people that are involved in this community there that they do this stuff for business or they do it for fun, and they're happy to deal with you if you're able to negotiate with them. So I've met tons of people in different groups around the world where we've been able to have some kind of symbiotic relationship where I'm either selling crypto for cash or buying crypto for cash. And it's a much more trustworthy environment, because if you go to a local coin swap, you're dealing with someone that you don't know, and you're just interacting with them on Telegram. Then you just meet up in a random spot, and you have to be like, hey, I'm the guy wearing the pink polo shirt or something like that. And it can be a bit nerve-wracking for some people, but if you go to Meetup, you make friends first. It's much easier to gauge people that you can trust, and you do the trades at the Meetup itself. So there's other people there, right? It's not like they've been going to this Meetup for like months and months. They build up their trust with you, and you give them cash and they just run away and never speak to you again. That's not going to happen. Like, you can do the trade in person. Just make sure to have like an exchange app or like, you know, a wallet handy. You just send your wallet address to their Telegram. They'll send funds to you. You give them the cash. Whoever goes first, it doesn't really matter, because you're in person there. Everyone knows both of you. There's not that much can go wrong. So you can use those two recommendations to buy and sell cash with crypto. And if you can do this, I think you're that much closer to Bitcoinization, where you're able to live your life in Bitcoin. As long as you can turn your Bitcoin into cash into Bitcoin, you at least don't have to rely on banks, which will, speed up your transition into Bitcoinization, if you will. So guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you're interested, make sure to use my referral link in the description down below for local coin swap. If you're interested in getting involved in cash trades and etc., you can also do the same on HODL. HODL, it's an even more secure website that's non-custodial whatsoever, that none of your funds are on the website whatsoever. So the account if the website shuts down, you don't have to worry about losing anything. And if you want to do the same with Monero, you can do the same on Bitpapa and on Noons. You might be able to find some peer-to-peer cash traders for Monero on those websites. So make sure to check that out, and I'll see you in the next video.